Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we have what I think is quite an iconic stereo console. To look at it, you wouldn't think to begin with. This is a Zenith A940. Probably one of the fanciest designs, coolest designs Zenith ever came up with. I once shared this with a person though, and he thought the metal stands were very tacky. I disagree. I think this is what the 70s was all about. You roll it over like this, and then you open it up like that, and reveals very 70s Zenith components right there. But to me, this is a real kind of a statement of mid-century modern cool. This was used an awful lot in the 70s by Zenith. They started just, regurgitating their components, standard turntable right there. But if you look at this, and you look at this Zenith of sound here, this is a Z590, you can automatically see the similarity. And that's all to do with cost, but at least this guy has some nice walnut veneer. It's kind of a deep dish here for the turntable. I've already checked her out briefly. She works great to a point. The right channel is very weak, so that's probably capacitors. So we are going to take this out. And of course, we're going to do the usual on this turntable right here, the usual service. But anyway, that's from the 70s. It's a Zenith A940, otherwise known as the Trent. And we're going to fix her. Or should I say him? Okay, well, one of the good things about this guy is basically I can leave it on this. This is my mobile desk table here. I wheel stuff around, but I can leave this on here perfectly. And because it swivels to a closed position, I can take this back cover off and get to the insides without too much problem, I'm guessing. I recently saw one of these on Craigslist for sale, and this cover was smashed in. It was, literally pieces were missing. And I thought, oh, maybe I could get a cover from the Z590. No, that's 24 inches. This is 26. So this is proprietary to this console only. This is probably only for this console. So thinking of that, I didn't go and get it. But yeah, I've only ever seen two of these ever for sale. They were both on eBay, and they were beat to a crisp, if you know what I mean. This one is the finest I've ever seen, and I had to have it, so I snapped it up. But yeah, there you go. We'll take the back off and we'll dig into some more. All right, so we got the back off, as you can see, the tuner section right there. And here's the amplifier section. That is exactly the same as that guy. That's a Z590 Troubadour. And that is exactly the same. So this was Zenith basically packaging their stuff into different cabinets and different styles. You'll actually find these in stereo consoles, floor models as well. And just for out of interest, I've got a catalog here from 1970. And if I can get the right page, there it is, there's the Trent. And as you can see, it puts out 100 watt of peak power, which is exactly the same as that guy. And do you know how I know that? Because the catalog says so. There it is, that's the Troubadour Z590, 100 watts peak power. So even though it's got a different chassis number, it's basically the same beast. I've covered this before, I think in another video, Circle of Sound video maybe, so I'm not too sure how much I'll dig into that. I'll recheck the video to see if it's worth it. But yeah, so this comes out this way, then you can get to the turntable transportation locks. There's one there and all that stuff, but this one comes out this way. It's mounted by 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. This guy comes out this way as well, but you're gonna take the knobs off first from the other side. All right, let's get started. Okay, we've got the chassis out, which reveals our Zenith branded typical VOM changer, voice of music. You've seen plenty of these restoration videos, so that'll be just the basic stuff which we've done before, and plenty of other guys have done a good job of showing you that. Tuner section, don't forget you got to take the knobs off to get this guy out. I would take this guy off. This is the tape in and out because it's all connected to this unit, and it's going to help you release that easier. Not too many of these are going to be restored by many people because, like I said, they're a bit of a rare bird, but I'll show you the basics, why not? We've got this on the table here. This is that chassis which you find in so many Circle of Sound units. And do you remember me telling you that the right side was weak? Well, that's why. That's a nice big crack there on that cap. Callin's caps are notorious for bursting because basically they're made of plastic, whereas these are aluminium. Plastic deteriorates over time, heat on, off, la la la, crack, no good. So Callin's caps are notoriously rubbish, but that's not at the time, it's because of age. All right, crack on. Okay, the tuner section is out now. So we're on the bench. Hey, this is a shameless plug because I just recently got this thing. As you can see, I put different sockets on there to dig in and get deep, but this thing is a DeWalt screwdriver. It is amazing. It's got a light on the front so you can see in there, which is great. But what this thing does is when you start hitting it, you turn it and it's gyroscopic. It basically, the amount of turn is the amount of speed and torque you get. This thing is the bomb. Where has it been all my life? Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So, the tuner section. We've covered the amp section. I just checked Circle of Sound, how to recap a Circle of Sound unit. So I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to recap it and what have you, but I'll show you a little bit more about this section. The tuner and the dials and the pots and everything. You're going to have to split this thing apart. As you can see right there, it's joined, and then it has these plastic guys with a nut screw in there. Now, be really careful because I guarantee you when you undo that, that's probably going to break. But you need to split this thing apart so you can get into the tone control caps, which are buried down in there. And also you want to clean the pots out with deoxit. Another strange thing is, check that out. That's a transistor that they put on the outside and didn't use. It's a four-legged one. They didn't use the other leg. Very strange. I have to look into that because the radio was working, and that's the tuner section. Anyway, to be continued. All right, as you can see here, we've replaced all those caps with new, and there's the old ones. There was also another one, another of these Callin's right there, as you can see, had a crack in it. So that was two. So two were cracked, which would not make this guy sound good at all. Okay, we've got them split up. As you can see here, the tone board, there's some caps there that need replacing, some Callin's. So we'll get that and we'll clean this pots out with green deoxit, not the red stuff. Google it, or contact cleaner, but we'll clean those out. And we'll also give this a good clean up. We'll change some bulbs. There's a bulb there and a bulb down there. But yeah, I did a little bit of research on this guy. This is an SK3018 transistor, which is typically used in the IF section of tuners, what have you. And I know I called it four legs, because this is what it is, but it's basically called a dual gate. It's another leg attached to the case. Not sure why it's not being used in that fashion. Only the EBC is being used. But it's almost like they forgot to put it in. If you can see right there. Anyway, it was up in here, and it's almost like they forgot to put it in, and because it was closed up, they just said, oh, let's go in from the back. Anyway, it's working. We're not going to mess with it. If it ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. So we'll see how that sounds. But the radio sounded pretty damn good. As you can see, photo facts here help me figure that out. So yeah, always good to have the photo fact schematic for your project. Okay, so we're recapped here. New bulbs, all cleaned out, pots cleaned. I think we've got talk radio commercials on, hopefully. Where's the volume? Oh, there it is.
Appointments and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address.
And that Week Right channel is now gone. So, yeah, we're good to go and put it back in. Alrighty then. So we're back inside the unit, and I noticed that this side, the right side, which was weak, it sounds good, but there's no highs. So I've got a funny feeling. I already took the screws off. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I've got a funny feeling that either the tweeter's no good or the cap's no good. It's probably the crossover cap, and it's not letting any frequency through. But there's no highs where on this side there is. So we're going to check this guy out first, but we're going to replace these regardless. But I'd like to know if it's this or this to begin with. All right. So 6.6 ohms. Let's turn that off. Which is telling me that this guy is good. During the commercial break, I did hook up a jumper and jump that cap, and we did get some highs through. So pretty sure it's that and not that, which is good, because replacing these is a bit of a pain, especially finding originals. So yeah, so there you go. We'll get that swapped out, and hopefully we're good. All right, we got those new guys in there. These were the old ones, and I put reading this capacitor tester. Yeah, that's 1.35. It's supposed to be 5. That was like 3. And these are 4.7s. So yeah, that was cutting out pretty much every single frequency there. Anyway, we did that side, we've done that side, and we're good to continue. Okay, the Trent is all put back together. Cleaned up very nicely, serviced that, we talked about that before. That was all done. But yeah, this was actually one of the most, how can I call it? I wouldn't want to call it easy, but just satisfying and straightforward services, restorations, whatever you want to call it, because the woodwork is in great condition. And talking about the woodwork, what I noticed was, this is walnut finish, but look at the thickness of that veneer right there. That's a 1/4 inch. You'd be lucky to get 1/8 of an inch on any other console, even Zeniths. So they really put some effort into this cabinet, and I think that stands out. It really does. The speaker boxes, especially that the back is actually the same veneer wood as everything else. That could be just plain particle board, but it's not. Anyway, also the stand. I had that professionally re-strengthened. It's basically extruded aluminum, and I'll show you a picture. But I had it reinforced with a professional weld just to make it absolutely super strong, because the original, these joints right here, very flimsy. But apart from that, she's a great mid-century looking unit. I will do a separate video of her playing her music, or him, right? Trent, him. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. We'll do it again.